Hello YouTube community, welcome back to Life's Pharmacy. Today I'm going to give a quick tutorial on how to inoculate oak logs. Today we'll be using mushroom spawn, shiitake mushrooms. I'm going to go over the process, some of the tools that we use. We'll go ahead and get started. Some of the tools that you'll need is a drill with a 5/16 drill bit. You'll need a hammer. In this case, I have some wooden dowels that already have the mushroom spawn started. They've been soaked and the inoculation has already begun on the wood dowels. These wood dowels we're actually going to go ahead and place into these logs. These are already pre-drilled, as you can tell. Some important factors about the wood. Shiitake take really good to oak. In this case we're using white oak. The diameter of the wood, usually 10 inches, between 4 inches and 10 inches in diameter is good. The other thing is the dormancy. You want to cut these when the tree is in its dormancy stage, or when there's no leaves during winter. That helps keep the bark very tight, and it's less flaky. There's also water retention in the wood, which is part of what this spawn is going to need in order to inoculate the mycelium that's going to grow and then eventually blossom into the mushrooms. So again, we're using shiitake mushrooms. I've already pre-drilled these holes, basically about 6 inches apart. I've staggered. You can see in this case there's a hole here, a hole here, a hole here, kind of in a diamond. And we've created that pattern throughout the wood. So what you'll want to do is you'll go ahead and take your dowel and basically just simply drive it into the wood. I like to turn it over, making sure that it indents, because one of the other things that we are going to be using is wax. I have cheese wax right now. You can use beeswax. It's on the fire right now. We're going to use it in a minute once we finish running all these dowels into the wood, and we're going to go ahead and seal that up. One of the reasons we want to seal this is to keep the moisture in. We also don't want any bacteria or anything getting into the host of this wood piece while the inoculation takes place. The other thing that we want to do is we're going to put wax on the cut end or exposed end of these logs as well. And again, the reason for that is to ensure that the moisture stays in the log. So we'll go ahead and continue running these dowels into the wood. Very easy, lots of fun for kids as well, if you don't mind them using hammers or even drills for that matter. This is a particular dowel that you can probably see. It's already got a lot of mycelium already growing and starting on this particular dowel. I'm going to go ahead and run that in there. Here's another one. This particular one's growing really well on the end of this dowel. I'm going to go ahead and face that down. Face first. Finish running that in. And you just keep running these dowels into the logs. Now today we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and put all of these spawn dowels into all of this oak. I've cut these a little bit smaller, usually about 3 feet long in width is pretty manageable. One of the reasons is it'll take 7 months for this mycelium to grow in these logs. We're going to place these logs in a very shady area where it's cooler, where it does get some water moisture. After 7 months, we are actually going to shock this wood, and you'll see part 2 of the video where we're going to give this a water ice bath, which is kind of create an accelerated growth for the mushrooms to actually start fruiting. After that, about every 5 weeks, we'll be able to harvest mushrooms, and these mushrooms will continue to grow for about 8 to 10 years on these very same logs. So once you get them started, they'll continue to reproduce. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off this log here. I'm going to let my camera lady kind of give you a quick tour through the garden while I go grab the hot wax off the fire. And then we're going to go ahead and seal up this log. So go ahead and take a quick tour through the garden and I'll be right back. Well, alright, so hopefully you didn't get dizzy on that short tour. We're going to go ahead and put wax and seal up every one of these dowels that we just put in. So what I have here is, again, I have some hot wax that I'm going to go ahead and seal up these holes. Very easy. You definitely want to be careful when you're doing it. Now you can use a larger brush. In this case, I don't mind taking my time and doing this and making sure that I seal it really well. So once we're done here sealing each one of these holes that we've placed the mushroom spawn dowels, we will go ahead and seal these ends, and then we're going to go place them in a shady area. I'm going to go ahead and show you now. I'm going to take you over there where you can actually see how these are getting set up and staged and the kind of environment that they will go into. So we'll take a quick walk over here. This is west facing in Life's Pharmacy. It is in a very shaded and protected area against a fence. It's tucked in behind Mexican sunflower, some bushes, shrubs, morning glory, and we actually have a bacon avocado growing back here as well. But what you'll notice back here in the corner is I already have some logs that we have already began the inoculation about a week ago, and these are just going to set back here for about 7 months. You can see where the ends have already been waxed. It is important to kind of stack them in this type of formation, giving some aeration in between the logs, keeping them up off the ground, all very important. 7 months from now, when we shock them, we will actually turn them on their ends and kind of leave them at a slant. And this will help in letting the mushrooms grow in the pattern that would be most beneficial for us to harvest, as well as give them the best growth opportunity. So hope you learned some things about growing mushrooms in your backyard, and thanks for watching.